All right, let's do it. Emily, can we please have a one-word bird-themed prompt?
Wings.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, wings didn't really play into consideration in this one in particular. Is this? Do you think this will be our
his arms a little bit?
Yeah, but he's got like hands, pretty much, right?
He's got 3 fingers.
Do you think this will be our only sort of flightless bird in Bird Month?
I don't know.
Stay tuned to find
we'll
out.
have to wait and find out. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ. Bacaw. This is the Overtalking Podcast where we talk over TV shows and movies. It's chosen by our guests, but this week we're continuing Bird Month.
Bird Month.
Like they say, Dal, love's strange. We could always give it a try.
And as you might be able to tell from that little clip there, and also the title of the episode, we watched Howard the Duck.
Sure did.
He's a duck.
Can't wait to find out from our guest why she chose this.
Yeah, what the hell? Should we just bring her on and just rake her over the coals right now?
Yeah, she's sitting right next to me. It's my lovely wife, Emily.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Emily, what the hell?
Quack, quack.
You didn't love this?
Love is a strong word. So.
Oh, this is my favorite movie. I figured since you love me, you would just love Howard the Duck.
Very interesting that you were watching TikTok while watching your favorite movie.
Well, I've seen it so many times. I mean, I can
Wow,
just...
you were doing that too? That's crazy. No, obviously CJ chose this, but
What?
I am curious. Well, Emily, had you seen this before?
No, I don't think I'd ever even heard of this movie. Yeah, I kept confusing it with, because I knew Howard the Duck, I was told Howard the Duck was part of the Marvel multiverse, but I kept thinking it was the pig character from Spider-Man. So I was excited. I kept thinking like, ooh, John Mulaney, this will be fun. Spider-Man.
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Pig. Spider-Pig.
That's The Simpsons.
Look, I'm not the experts here, okay?
Yeah, nope, that would have been better. Sure wish it was a Spider-Ham movie.
Yeah. You only got yourself to blame there.
That's right. Make Spider-Ham a movie.
Now, before we get too far into Howard the Duck, Emily, it is Bird Month. What's your favorite bird?
Oh,
easy.
Go.
I know this
I'm so
one.
glad you asked me that. I love pigeons. I think pigeons are amazing birds. They do not get their credit where it's due. There's so many cool facts about pigeons. They live with us. Like, they're total city birds. They can do all kinds of cool shit, and I just love them. I see them all the
Mainly
time.
shit.
Yeah. Hey, you see it? They're cleaning up the streets. They do it all.
Ken, as you and listeners may recall from last week's episode, I shared a fun fact about pigeons that they basically can only live with us. Where do you think I learned that fun fact from?
I'm guessing Emily.
That's
yeah.
right.
Wow. You got any other pigeon fun facts?
Did I get that right? That like they only live in cities because they're codependent on humans?
Yeah, they're considered slightly domesticated. It's such an advantage to live near humans. Like, there's a reason you don't see pigeons out in the countryside, like living on farms. They prefer cities. They like to live with us. Another cool fact, when they drink water, like the way they bend down, their throat is literally like a straw. Like, they can't actually suck up water. They have to use... Oh no, now I'm blanking on the scientific term. It's like, basically their throat, it like draws the water up into their stomach. So
They're
they
not
have
like
this really
lapping
cool...
it up with a
they
tongue.
have this like kind of cool thing where if you see them drink, they just sort of like tilt their whole body forward. And
Interesting.
yeah, they carry messages for us during wars. I mean,
They do.
a lot of cool stuff. There actually was a pigeon like regiment in the army in like World War II and stuff.
Mike Tyson collects them.
He does?
I
his
assume
mouth.
Mike Tyson's Mysteries, I'm getting the name of the show wrong, was fact.
Was
and
fact.
he collects pigeons in that.
I'm really
TV
worried
show.
now that there are 2 huge pigeon fans in the world, and it's me and Mike Tyson. Like,
I think it is true, though. I think he
There's
does.
probably more than we would know, just like
Yeah.
pigeons.
yeah.
CJ, I don't think you went through this, and maybe we'll tease out mine for maybe next week. But what is your favorite bird?
Oh, so you
we
get
talked
another
about
week
this
to
last
think on it, and I've been even put on the spot.
That's it.
Have I not
That's how
sold
we
you
do
on
it.
pigeon?
Pigeons I like them more than in past. Now that I know all these fun facts, I don't know that I have a favorite bird. Crows are kind of like menacing in a cool way. They're also
Yeah, but
like
we're gonna,
pretty mean.
We're gonna cover crows in another week, so we'll
That's
skip
true.
that. Yeah.
Name any other bird.
Redbird.
Quick.
Redbird.
Cardinal.
Red bird. Cardinal. Okay, there you go.
Redbird's a thing. That is an actual
Is it?
species. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my a college mascot.
The red-breasted redbirds?
The
They were
mascot
the
was
red birds?
the Redbirds. Yes.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it was a cardinal.
Nope.
But okay.
A lot of smarties at that school.
Yeah. Can I name another
fine.
one? Lovebirds
No.
from last
Yeah,
week.
okay.
Lovebirds
That's
are
about
cool.
it.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking about ducks, I guess, because we're talking about Howard the Duck and more coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
Should name ducks. That's probably my favorite bird.
And then one night, it happens.
Hey, good buddy, are you home?
He has a very sudden midlife crisis. He lands in Cleveland.
You do know why you were sent to me?
Listen to me, small visitor. I can explain how you got here.
Maybe you're here for some greater purpose, some cosmic cause.
Here, he's forced to reassess his career goals,
You went to med school?
to adjust to a changing lifestyle. Until he discovers just who he really is.
Oh, no.
A duck in big trouble.
Quails are cool. They have that like little dongle in the front. You know?
Their uvulas just on the outside.
Yeah.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast for Bird Month, week 2. And we're talking about Howard the Duck. Emily, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for someone who's not yet seen Howard the Duck, which is probably a significant number of people.
Probably everyone.
Yeah. What it's all about.
Ready, go.
Okay. So a lot happens in this movie. Like
Too
so
much.
much. And it's making it hard for me to remember anything that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
Howard is a duck from a planet of ducks.
Duck
it's
World.
like Earth, but it's shaped like an egg. A beam sucks him off the planet in like the first 10 seconds of the movie.
10 seconds left.
After he looks at a Playboy magazine. And then the first half of the movie is Splash, and the second
5,
half of the movie is
4,
Men in Black.
3,
Hilarity ensues.
1. Does it?
I mean,
It sure tries.
yeah,
Tries real hard.
it wants nothing
way
more
too
than
hard.
to make you laugh.
I think the only times I laughed was they tried a joke and I was laughing at how bad the attempt was.
Yeah.
I
mean,
laughed at the Overlord's attempt.
Ken, we got to talk about this. Did we
Yeah.
finally?
Hold on. Wait, chronologically, believe it or not, that is way later in the movie. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, we have to go beat by beat through this movie because
it's going
it-
to take
it-
us 2 hours.
yeah. Like this
well,
movie.
maybe not beat by beat, but like we got to hit the main points because it is unhinged. How like off the rails this movie goes
Yeah.
From
And
the
it-
drop.
from the drop. Yeah. So Howard the Duck gets sucked out of a. Wait. Oh, hold on. CJ, had you seen this before?
No.
Okay. No one's seen this before, right?
No.
All right. Yeah, me neither.
And no one listening to this has either.
Yeah, no one on Earth.
Maybe Duck World. Okay, yeah. So Howard the Duck gets literally sucked through the walls, out of his planet through like a dimensional portal, I assume.
Yeah.
That's what that was, and then into Earth, and then immediately 80s greasers is the first 30 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Punk rock, baby.
Yeah.
And they just decide they're beating him up like right off the bat for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
Because he's different, and that's
Yeah.
what you do to different people.
that's right.
You beat
In the
them
80s.
In the 80s.
Let
if
this
you're
be a
greaser.
lesson to the kids. Then he meets the lead singer of a punk rock group.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson, the mom
Thompson.
from Back to the Future.
Yep. She spends the next 40 minutes trying to fuck him.
No.
Basically.
Pretty much.
I don't.
Come on,
Openly.
yes.
I disagree with that.
They almost fuck. They literally almost fuck.
That's her calling his bluff. He is
Oh.
being flirty, and she's like, "Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna get let's actually follow through with this. I'm gonna give you what you claim to want."
I'm
and
gonna
then he
go-
immediately freaks out.
Dude's
I'm gonna go
ready.
ahead
He
and
has
play-
a condom in his wallet.
Yeah.
Like he's, yeah.
It wasn't for her.
Who
don't
was
know
it for
that?
then? Yeah.
That's a thing.
Who
in
is he trying to fuck then?
Other ducks on Duck World. That's a thing people
No.
do or used to was carry a condom in their wallet.
I'm going to go ahead and play the woman card on this one and say no woman ever pretends to be interested in sex as a way to call your bluff. It just
Ooh.
doesn't happen. Like,
Okay.
you cannot put that invite out there.
Given that they're not the same species, I think she kind of knew nothing was going to happen.
I think what happened is that they thought that's where the movie was going to go. And then they realized as soon as Leigh Thompson started trying to kiss that like prosthetic fake beak that like nothing could be filmed. There was no chemistry or anything.
So yeah, that's the first like 30 minutes to an hour of this movie is just 80s greasers and 80s music.
You are skipping over the part though, and maybe my favorite part of the film, where he works at the bathhouse. There's like a 5-minute bathhouse interlude for no reason.
A hot tub park.
Hotel?
I don't know what to call it. It's just a place that has a bunch of rooms with hot tubs.
Do you guys know what Sybaris is?
No.
I only know because we live right by it, but it's like they say pool suites, but it's like a place you bring like prostitutes to have sex with them in water.
Okay,
And
that's what this was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this was. Yeah.
Howard, so after he goes to the unemployment office, not making this up, and they tell him he has to work, they get him a job working at the sex pool, which he hates. He can't swim either, apparently, despite being a duck.
The owner asks him to go unclog one of the like jets in the pool, but there's a couple in there for some reason
who don't care that he's there.
Yeah,
and it seems to be working just fine from what I can tell.
They're macking too hard; they don't even notice that a duck human form person has entered the chat.
But then there's another pool that's it's like black with sludge.
I think that was a mud pool.
Mud pool. He tries to kill the owner, pushing him in there.
Oh, it was intentionally a mud pool. I missed that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's so dirty that and then I didn't know what they were going for. Okay, that makes sense.
Leah Thompson's character is friends with this scientist guy. So first they go to the museum because she's like, if anyone's going to know how to get you home or why you're here, it's my friend who works at Science Lab Museum.
Who is Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. Great performance by Tim Robbins, I should say.
Top notch.
Sure.
I loved him. Also, I was checking IMDb while watching this movie, as one does. And if you go on Tim Robbins' IMDb page, you know how there's like 4 movies where it says known for? This is one of those movies for him.
Come on.
He's been in like 1,000 movies, and this is one of his known for.
This was after
Those
Shawshank
are
Redemption.
Such bullshit.
Yeah. He has Shawshank Redemption and Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Oh my God.
It's like 3 classic cinema films.
Yeah, masterpieces.
And then Howard the Duck.
Wow.
Which just goes to show what a gem this film is.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched that Apple TV show Silo?
No.
He's on it. He's pretty good.
Okay.
He's actually probably the best part of that. Common's on
this?
that. Common is not good in that show.
Oh.
Shocker.
Well.
Chicago's own.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins is great in everything.
Yeah.
I was happy when he pops in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that sets forward the motion that, okay, they're trying to figure out how to get him home. The jobs don't work out.
And just as Leah Thompson's about to fuck the duck.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins and his science pals show up to her apartment.
One of whom is literally Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep.
Ken, trivia question for you. There are 2 Ferris Bueller's Day Off characters in this movie.
There sure are. And that's one of my trivia
them?
questions. And I knew it when I saw him. I didn't know it immediately. Meg and I were like looking at him. He is one of the greasers in the bar at during
Leah
a scene
Thompson's
where
show.
Howard is trying to fight the manager for Leah Thompson's band. And he's just another greaser. But Meg and I were like, oh shit, who is that guy? And he's got long hair and a mustache. And Meg's looking him up. And just as she finds him, I'm like, it's the parking attendant from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's wild.
The guy that takes it on the joyride. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2
Ferris
Ferris
Bueller
Bueller's Day Off.
shot the same year as this movie, which is why both of those people look identical as they did in Ferris Bueller.
So this was a great year for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
2
actor that
classics.
plays Rooney, a.k.a. Dr. Jennings in this, like,
Yeah. They were
quite a
both in one
performance.
huge hit, Ferris Bueller,
Yeah.
and one movie that they probably made a lot of money on because it was George Lucas based, but it was a huge flop.
Yeah. Is that a question later? We have not looked it up, but we're fascinated to know what the budget of this movie is. Because the set
I can make
pieces.
it one.
Okay, yeah, the set pieces alone. The movie kept going on, and we're like, how much was this? They keep throwing more and more money into this dog shit movie.
So many sets, so many actors, so much puppetry and prosthetics, and then
Yeah.
CGI at the end and explosions. It was
That was another thing. When I was on IMDb, when you click on this movie, there's like 20 people credited as Howard T. Duck.
Probably because
all the
they're
different,
like operating the bill.
yeah, all this other stuff going on. Yeah,
Is it bad that I just assumed somebody was in? I thought there was somebody in there.
there is.
Oh,
There is
okay.
someone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in one of the trivia questions because one person was one of the main people. I think multiple people did wear the suit, but one person was the main
Howard.
main Howard.
Did you like that his name is he's credited as Howard T. Duck?
Oh,
Do you know what the
That on
T
his
stands
driver's
for?
license.
the
Yeah.
Money.
this movie is full of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Full of jokes.
Anyway, there's this freaking like space laser thing that turns out to have been what sucked Howard to Earth.
Yeah.
And they're trying to fire it back up so that they can shoot him back home, but it explodes in Rooney's face.
Yeah.
And this is really where it goes off the fucking rails. He becomes possessed by what they literally call an overlord from like a dark overlord from outer space.
From this
And
show.
I just assume it's Krobus, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's probably Krobus.
it's definitely
They don't give him a
Overtalking
name.
Overlord. For those who don't know, there are guest otherworldly landlords who show up at the end of every episode of Mind Me to Mind You stuff.
that we now know are from the Nexus of Summonus.
That's right.
So that's canon now. The overlords on the show
right.
are from the Nexus of Summonus.
And they've possessed Rooney at one point.
Yeah.
And Rooney just starts fucking talking like this and these are. And that's what I laughed at.
I am no longer Dr. Jennings.
Yes.
I think it explains why they're such big fans of the podcast. Like they've been trying to get into showbiz for
Yeah.
4 decades now.
Are they the ones that kept requesting Bird Month? They're like, watch our movie. Jeez.
I think that might have been it. They knew you were going to choose Howard the Duck if we were going to do Bird Month. Yeah.
Also, really fast, we did actually, somebody emailed the show and wanted us to do this movie. So I hope you're happy. Person who emailed us. That's a legitimate thing that happened. And we're finally doing it. This was months and months ago.
And
There we
you're
go.
saying that now so that we don't all think it was you.
It was not me.
This is true. I do remember that now.
So what happens next?
So that's then like, we still have an hour left in the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just this Rooney shooting lasers out of his literal eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what's happening now.
Yep. They go to the diner, fight some more greasers.
Which,
Yeah, Leah Thompson's still there for some reason.
It's because she's trying to fuck Howard.
That's right.
it's not.
It is. They haven't fucked yet.
100%.
So she needs to still be there.
Can we talk about the diner?
The
Yeah,
Cajun
absolutely.
sushi diner.
Yeah, that it was. It's
That was
clearly-
it's supposed to be a joke, but it was just weird.
No, that
I
had
gotta
to have
crack
been a
at it.
joke,
Yeah,
right?
I love
Yeah,
it.
it's
Okay,
gotta be.
all right.
Like all this stuff has to be a joke, but it's by just someone who doesn't understand humor. I don't know.
Yeah, I really got a kick out of that. So then all the white servers in there are wearing like headbands that you'd expect at like a hibachi grill or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a normal diner, except they
Yeah,
have
they've
hibachi
slapped
grill headbands on.
sushi.
But again, people who are different deserve to be killed, and that's why all the diners turn on Howard after
Yep.
he's doing nothing but trying to save the earth. And they tie him up in the kitchen and they get a cleaver. They're going to kill him.
Yeah, that was kind of
But
weird.
They started seasoning him even before they didn't even take his clothes off. Like it's so
Yeah.
weird. They're just throwing like
Okay,
oregano on him.
But they establish in the movie that you can't take his underwear off, right? Like at one point when what's her face is about to get down with him and the scientists come in, they make him strip because they want to analyze him as scientists or whatever, and they seem to suggest, unless I misunderstood, that his boxers don't come off.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
I thought they were more looking for like trying to take his suit off. 'cause
Yeah,
they
I thought
he was wearing a suit.
Yeah, they thought the
Oh.
duck was a costume,
Yeah.
and so they were just saying like, no, as far as we could tell, it's like literally him.
Oh, guys, I have watched this movie hundreds of times and I had never picked up on that.
That would be
Egg on my face.
that would be pretty funny. if they tried to like pull his shorts down and they're like, oh
They're,
no,
like,
it's just
attached.
part of his body.
I thought that they were suggesting that anatomically the duck's underwear was
of it.
integral. Yeah.
I did like that. That like they don't. We don't see like a duck penis. They like no. We're stripping him down to his boxers, and that's far enough. Even though we get frontal nudity in the duck form in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yep, full duck
Boobs.
boobies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, and then there's like a 30-minute chase scene
Mm-hmm.
in a like tiny. I don't even know how to describe it.
Prop
It's
plane?
supposed to be like a little. Yeah. What is it? What's it called? Prop plane?
A prop plane, maybe? I don't know. But again,
something like that, but with like a bike seat and wheels
Yeah.
on the bottom of it.
lots of
Tim
stunts.
Robbins does a whole lot of physical humor by being dragged in water, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's the best part of the movie, I think.
Doesn't really land for me if you get my drift.
Oh.
But yeah, that goes on way too long, and then they fight a big stop motion monster, and that's the end of the movie. Oh,
Yeah.
and then she fucks the duck pretty much at
Yes.
the end of the credits.
That's credits roll.
10,000%.
Emily, didn't you want to talk about a specific part of the movie?
Oh, my favorite part of the movie was the opening credits. The song.
Oh
song?
yeah,
Yeah. It sort of lays it all out for you. It's a catchy 80s punk rock anthem. I loved it.
Should we take a listen to it?
Yeah, sure.
Crashed from space in a bathtub ride. Now he's strutting through Cleveland with way too much pride. Cigars in his beak and a chip on his wing. Middle finger to the world, yeah, that duck does his thing. Howard the Duck, quack attack. Alien mallard in a leather jack. Feeling confused, feeling aroused. Better creep love and he's feeling proud. Howard the Duck, don't give a fuck, got a crush on a bird and he's punching up. Weird gets weirder when you roll with the duck. Feathers, boots, and cosmic bad luck.
Yeah.
It was just,
and then
I like how it just cut off.
It just ends.
they always do that.
Very
It's
abruptly.
so weird.
Yeah, I like how they rhymed attack, and then I think they meant jacket, but they just said jack.
No, he's wearing a leather jack.
That's just slang. We all say that.
Yeah. From the movie.
Yeah.
My favorite part is that it's to the melody of DuckTales.
Woo!
It's almost like
That's right.
they got
That's what it
confused
was,
about
right?
which duck-related song they were doing and chose the wrong one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of my knowledge of this movie is from the George Lucas talk show. Since it's a George Lucas movie, they talk about it a lot on there. Friend of the show, Patrick Kottner, shout out. They have a bit where when they talk about this movie, which was the only thing I knew about this going in, was that we see duck boobs in the first 5 minutes of the movie, like we said. But when they're discussing it, they refer to it as duck tits and then go, woo!
Yep. That's right.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's better than the rest of this movie. Do we have anything more want to say about?
About duck tits?
Just that it, woo! Just that it's way too long, and that like legitimately all of these turns I did not see coming. I will say that was the one thing this movie has is it is not predictable in my book.
No. Well, I mean, we didn't even talk about the credits. Like they literally, Leah Thompson gets back with her band,
And they're famous now.
and sings a literal Howard the Duck song.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and plays guitar with her on stage. Which, of course.
Yes.
Were you also getting the guitar scene looked exactly the same as Back to the Future?
Oh, interesting. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, like the dancing and the way he's like hopping on one leg and stuff. It looks
Yeah,
like
they
the
did
exact
that
same
one-
moves.
That one, like, kind of leg shuffle thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
I thought also the opening of the movie where he's sitting in his chair and then he gets sucked via beam like through the walls. Why did I think that was like a horror film reference or something? Like it was making me think of isn't there like a
Asking the
Oh,
wrong guy.
well, it kind of is like Evil Dead.
Hmm.
Have you seen Evil Dead?
nope.
No, okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I thought the whole second half of the movie was literally Men in Black, where it's like
Yeah.
a human's
aliens
body
and-
has been
yeah.
possessed by an alien and now we have to go get it out. Like it was a bad Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just unhinged is the way I would describe this movie to anyone who has. That's just
Crazy that this got made, and that we'll find out how many millions of dollars got put into it.
Yeah.
Many.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've got how much it made too. Oh my god.
Oh no.
All right. Well, maybe we should get to trivia then.
Yeah.
It's time for.
Hey, did you know that?
That's right. It's for new listeners. This is Hey, did you know that? Or Hey, did you know that? Or
Hey,
we put our guest and CJ head.
did you know that?
Head to see who knows the most about what we watched. CJ, Emily, did you know that? And are you ready? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Now, every week during Duck Month, we are kicking off trivia with a bird-themed question based on the bird of the week. So, this is a duck-themed question.
Pigeon.
Well,
Nope.
it's going to be duck.
Sorry. First person to answer correctly gets the point. What is a male duck called?
Mallard.
I was taking a sip. No, that's not it. That's the only word I know. Duck related.
A male duck. Is it a muck?
Mr. Duck.
Nope.
Senor Quackers?
Dallard.
Dallard.
No.
Like a dad duck.
I'm pretty sure a mallard is a type of duck.
I thought it was
No,
a male
it's
duck.
it's a drake.
A drake.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wouldn't have got that in a million years.
Is it,
All
so the Drake Hotel downtown, is their logo like a duck or something? Is that what it's
I don't
after?
know.
It's a drake?
Is Drake's like persona based on a male duck? Is he a duck?
He's a Canadian duck.
It does have all those duck noises in most of his songs.
Yeah.
Just in the background.
He was shot and killed by Kendrick. Open hunting season
Hi-yo.
last year.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you another shot at a bird-themed question. What is a female duck called in ornithology specifically?
Duck
Mrs.
tits.
Good.
Woo.
Duck tits.
If we didn't know male.
Yeah, I don't. These should be multiple choice, I think. Good.
Yeah, too late.
If I thought that the male duck was a muck, does that mean I have to guess fuck for this one?
That is correct. You do.
Did I get the point? No. Okay.
The correct answer is a hen, apparently.
What?
That's a chicken.
That's confusing.
It is confusing. Apparently, Wikipedia had to distinguish that normally a female duck is just called a duck, but in ornithology, it's called a hen. I don't know why that would make any difference or why it wouldn't just be always a hen. I don't understand what they meant by that in Wikipedia.
Hey,
but anyway, that's what it
ornithology
says, so.
freaks, since you're listening to this episode, write in and explain why that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overtalkingpod@gmail.com.
Stop trying to make your science so difficult and gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like,
Just call it a fuck, like we
Yeah.
all think.
It's a muck and a fuck.
All right, off to a poor start, but maybe if we switch to the movie, we'll do a little better.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
This is a nail-biting tiebreaker.
Yeah. Well, we've teased it already. So just closest, and maybe say your numbers at the same time so you don't influence each other. But how many millions of dollars do you think was the budget for this movie?
Is this in today dollars, or we have to think to
80s
80s dollars?
It is, I believe, $80, not adjusted for inflation.
I'm also terrible at this, just in general.
Carry the one. Wait, are we saying it at the same time? You're gonna,
Yeah.
Okay, let me think.
I got it.
All right.
Kenny, you gonna count us down?
Yep, 3, 2, 1, go.
80
million.
Did you also say
Yeah.
80?
Okay, well, that doesn't work.
I'll take 81.
I'll just tell you, because...
79.
Wait, who went over and under?
Over.
Under.
Over? And CJ, you went under?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the under has it. That's hugely over what this is actually. So this isn't as fun anymore. But it is $36 million. Which
What
is
is
still
that
a ton
in
of money.
today's dollars?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. The budget for Spaceballs was $22.7 million.
Okay.
That's the only other thing I have on my screen right now that I can refer to. But I would imagine $36 million in 80s dollars is a lot more today.
Yeah.
How much do you think it made at the box office based on that?
2, if that.
They spent 36. How much it made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go 3. I believe a lot of people bought tickets and then were disappointed.
Once again, you guys way over that.
It's
So this
all
is less
down.
fun, but it is 16 million, which is about half of the budget. So it is a huge flop.
Surprised it made that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you both get a point because you both got one of those right.
Yeah. Can you share that?
Oh yes, I have looked up what $36 million in 1980 would be worth today, and it is It's $140 million today.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's
That's a high budget movie.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah.
So now our guess makes more sense. We're thinking today's money.
It explains why this movie, like the production value was so high and why everything was executed so well and just cutting edge.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. We'll stick with money related questions. How much did George Lucas spend on the Howard the Duck suit alone?
Oh, geez. Okay, the beak alone has intricate movements. The eyes blink,
but
and
can't
move.
kiss.
Right. Is it going to be something insane? Like it's like $1 million. I'm going to say $1 million.
If it's $1980, I'll go under $1 million.
Let's pick a number.
$2 million.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
So that's like what? Like 10 million today's money or something?
I don't know.
So that, according to Michael, is $7.7
million
million
today.
today.
Oh my God.
Just on that suit.
That they got wet.
How could they afford to insure this movie? Like, who's gonna pick that up?
I didn't know how to work this into a question, but the two producers, after a test screening, got into such a heated altercation between each other about who was to blame for making this movie that they started throwing fists at each other, like got into a literal fist fight over who was to blame for this movie.
Incredible.
Who's to blame for this goose egg?
Oh. All right. We touched a little bit about horror movies, but just 2 years after this movie was made, Ed Gale, who was the main person who manned the Howard the Duck suit in this movie, went on to man a different type of suit, playing a horror movie icon. What was the classic horror icon that he played?
Chucky.
Emily got it first, but yes, it was Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
only in the first one, Child's Play, but yeah, he put on a Chucky suit for that.
Nice.
That's cool.
Glad he went on to something successful. It's not his fault this movie was bad.
That's true.
I mean, performance didn't help, but
it wasn't his voice. It was someone else's.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, actually, that goes to my next question. What actor was originally voicing Howard but quit after a week over frustration syncing his delivery with the animatronic duckbill? This is multiple choice.
Good.
Was it A, Robin Williams, B, Matthew Broderick, C, Sean Hayes, or D, Bruce Willis?
Ooh.
What wild choices.
I'm going to do Matthew Broderick. He was a king in the 80s.
I'll go C.
Sean Hayes?
Yeah.
Okay. You're both wrong.
Bruce Willis?
Robin Williams. There's no way it's Bruce Willis.
Is correct. Yeah, you don't get the point for that. But yeah, Robin Williams was originally going to do the voice, but they had filmed everything ahead of time because they couldn't, they had to have just, they couldn't like sync it up to an actual voice when they were filming. So they'd already filmed everything using just like some set guy reading the script in like a bland tone. So everyone reacting to Howard the Duck is just reacting off of just some dude reading the script monotonely, basically.
That's incredible. You can't tell.
Okay, actually, just really fast, I pointed this out to Emily. Ken, was it just me or was like a lot of the ADR like off?
Yeah, the whole thing was ADR.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it was so weird.
Like the first hour of the movie, I was like, nobody's lips are like matching what they're saying.
Bizarre. Yeah.
Well, didn't Robin Williams like, because when he did Genie for Aladdin, like he also improvises so much that they like went back and redrew a ton of that. So I was thinking he's too much of a pro to quit, but like it makes sense that he would. You can't tie him down.
Yeah,
that is exactly why he left, because he's like, yeah, I improvise and I can't like stick to a cadence for the way I speak because that's just not how I do it, and it won't be funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, no, this isn't going to work. And so he walked away. But
I'm trying
he's
to
a pro, but he wouldn't, didn't work for this case.
Yeah. So somewhere out there in the multiverse is a version where they got him on board earlier. And there's a fantastic Robin Williams helmed Howard the Duck version.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they got someone whose name I didn't recognize, and that's all they did. So, all right. Next question: the evil, or I think they call him the Dark Overlord.
Yeah.
In this movie is based on the Marvel villain. Is based on a Marvel villain who is the reason Howard is brought to Earth. That villain's full title in the comics is A. Blood Overcrest. It's BLU umlaut D. B. Thog Netherspawn. C. Telekinesa Thorncrest. Or D. Krobus.
It's Krobus. He's up to so many hijinks.
He's not gonna use his real name as his stage name.
I don't know. I don't
This is
think
in
he's
the
that
comics,
clever.
to be clear.
Oh. Because there's no mention made of this in the film, right? It's never explained that any intention was there, right?
Nope.
Yep.
No, that's not how it was in the film, but that is how it was in the comics.
They just couldn't fit that backstory in with all of the
It didn't fit with, I don't know,
the
whatever.
sex hotel stuff. So no
I'll do
time.
the first one. I like Blood.
I'll go with the second one, B.
Thog the Netherspawn is
Yep.
the correct answer, yes.
Wow.
Was that the one I picked?
Yes.
That's the one you picked,
Excellent.
yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
Yeah, I did. Oh no, does that mean we're tied?
Yeah, what's the
No.
score?
No.
I think you're in the lead.
CJ has 2, Emily has 3.
Yeah.
Cool.
But this could be the final question. We'll see. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score for this movie in percentage? Closest without going over. Emily, since you're in the lead, you'll go first to give CJ the edge.
Without going over.
Yeah.
Correct. Good luck. This one's going to be interesting.
I mean, I know that I love this movie, but critics are notoriously fickle and hard to please.
Notoriously.
I'm gonna
But
go.
maybe not in this case.
I'm gonna go 9.
9%?
Yep.
Okay.
Dang. Without going over. I think it's higher than a 9, so I will say 10%.
All right. It's tied up. CJ, you got the point then.
What was it?
How much over, though, is the question. 13%.
Dang. Yeah,
Oh.
I was
So,
like,
not
I don't
much.
think it's above the teens for sure. It's not getting
No.
over 20.
No.
Is that the lowest tomato meter score you've ever had on the pod?
Ooh.
I don't think we were doing tomato meter scores for Big Money Hustlers.
Yeah.
So
That might be it.
I'm curious. What
Yeah,
that
pull
is.
that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
But yeah, I think that's extremely low. Even the bad shit still
Fuck
gets like a
off.
20.
What do you think? This is not a question for trivia, but what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is for Big Money Hustlers?
49.
22.
83%. Oh no, hold on. Sorry. Is
that the
That's
right-
not the tomato meter score? That is
Okay.
the audience
That's the
score.
popcorn
The
meter.
popcorn
Oh.
meter. Yeah.
It's like, no way.
Because the only people who would ever watch this are
Juggalos.
Juggalos. Yeah. Okay.
Does it
Gotta
not
skip
have
for a
a
second.
Rotten Tomatoes?
It just doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
No critics
No
reviewed
critics
this-
watched
that
it.
movie.
That makes sense.
So this might be the lowest one.
This
I
is
don't
the
know.
lowest.
Probably. 13 is really
What
low.
was that? What was that crappy Marvel movie? With the Spider Women.
Oh, Madam Web? Ooh, yeah. I think that's probably higher than a 13, though.
You know what's funny though is that
It's
like
not.
No?
That one's lower.
What is it?
11%.
Oh, just barely. Dang.
Because that one's like not even a cohesive movie.
I would rather watch Madam Web again than this, though.
But what's crazy is that you saying that,
don't
like,
know about
there are movies that I have watched with you because you were watching them for the pod in the past. I enjoyed Howard the Duck a lot more than Snowpocalypse or whatever it was.
Snowmageddon?
Snowmageddon. I've liked it a lot more than a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
I don't know
watched.
if I agree with you, CJ. I don't think I would rather watch Madam Web over this movie. Because this movie at least is like, there's things that are happening that are interesting. They're weird and not necessarily funny, but
Madam
Madam
Web,
Web's
though,
just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what-
I had a better time watching Madam Web than I think this movie is what it comes down to.
okay.
Yeah. Well, they're both so bad they're good, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Madam
yeah,
Web, I think,
yeah.
is more of the it's so bad it's good, where this is just like I just don't understand where this is going and why it's going in that direction, and this is too much things happening.
That's the artistry of it.
All right, so we need a tiebreaker. I'll let you two choose. Do you want the popcorn meter from Rotten Tomatoes, that's the audience score, or do you want the Letterboxd score?
Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on the count of 3, you both need to say what you think the Letterboxd score is, just closest, and it's down to 1 decimal point.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
1.7.
1.7. God damn.
Oh my God.
What the hell? All right.
I think we spend too much time together.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if this is good or bad for our relationship.
Okay. It was 2.2.
Okay.
So a little bit higher.
Above a 2.
So that's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's very funny. All right. We're going to do the popcorn meter one then. This is the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think it was for this movie? Just closest.
Okay.
Okay. You counting us down again?
2, 1.
29.
43.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Finally.
29 and 43. 43 is closer because the score is 38%. So, Emily, you're a winner.
Dang.
Woohoo!
That's too high.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, though.
Yeah.
Audience scores are a little more forgiving, but
it's got to be like, it's got that cult hit vibe. It's like The Room, right? Where like people love to hate it. I don't think
that's even the case. If it had, like, that score would be higher because people would continue to review it.
But it's mixed, right? Like half the people come who are like, this is so bad, it's great, and then there's us dragging it down.
I don't know.
Maybe. Well, thank you. I will enjoy this victory very much. It goes out to all the pigeons of Chicago who've supported me in their friendship and companionship over the years.
Absolutely. Quack, quack, and thank you.
Cuckoo.
All right, well, I think it might be time for our ratings.
You've heard us debating, we know you've been waiting, so now it's time to hear our ratings.
Emily, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Howard the Duck for you?
Oh, right. I forgot about this part. What I rate it for me? I'm going to give it a 6.9.
No.
Why not?
No.
It's sticking with the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
There's no sex in the movie.
It's not for a lack of trying.
God. There's no way you think this is almost a 7. That's like a good movie.
Are you being hostile to the witness? Like, I feel like you're leaning on me.
I don't believe you.
I mean, it's your score. If you want to rate it 6.9.
Let the record show that CJ is refusing to write it down.
Writing it down.
Fine.
I just don't believe you.
Okay, it's a 3.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
And it's generously getting that 1 point for being a movie. But again, I would watch this more than some of the other stuff. But
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no pigeons. There's not much.
Not much
good.
to say.
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of covered it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a 3.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay. Yeah. Just to split you two up, I'm going to go next. Yeah, I agree with the 3. I think that sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, unhinged. Like, not good. Just, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
But, like, genuinely surprising. So, that's why it's not, like, lower. But, yeah, just, I don't know. Like, frick. Like, no one reacts well to anything.
No.
Leah Thompson's just along for the ride for the second half of the movie, and she is awful for the second half of the movie specifically. I don't know. It's all a mess and all over the place and so weird, especially with like the freaking live action duck suit the whole movie too. Like it's just I don't know.
The dialogue. They try to make his dialogue like sound like this like hard-boiled detective sort of vibe where he's calling everybody like doll face and stuff. It's just weird.
Yeah. Not to go too often on a tangent, but CJ, do you know like what the normal comic is like?
No,
I've never like this?
No, I've never read Howard the Duck, and I don't plan on it based on this.
I don't know. Somebody's getting gifts ideas.
He's fun when he shows up for like a few minutes in the MCU movies, and he's fun in the What If cartoons. He's voiced by Seth Green, but that is an actual like fully fledged character who now has better writers behind him.
Yeah, I really liked him as the pig in Spider-Verse.
That's not. Stop.
Yeah, it's just Howard adapting to Earth life. I just looked it up. Like the comics are just struggling to adapt to Earth life, dealing with mundane challenges like finding a place to live or getting a job.
That doesn't even sound good.
So it's like the sex bath place. Like that's the comic.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't need. Those are my struggles. I don't need to read about them.
He does have
in
a love interest in Beverly Schwitzler, a struggling rock singer who serves as his companion.
That's Leah Thompson.
Yeah, so they do fuck.
CJ, we told you.
In the comics, maybe. Not in this movie.
Birds have penises, I think.
They do. They're weird.
Yeah.
Ducks specifically.
Fun bird facts.
Yeah.
Drakes. Duck mucks.
They can like. We shouldn't get into it. People can Google it if they want. It's weird.
Your safe search might block it, but
yeah. Leah Thompson knows, so that's all.
Yeah.
All right, CJ, what's your ranking for this movie?
For me, yeah, I think 3 sounds pretty good. I think if like what's wild to me is I think an hour into the movie, if somebody had like paused it and was like, okay, based on what you've seen,
right,
what do you think the end of this movie is going to be? In a million years, I never would have guessed a dark overlord figure comes down, possesses the body of the doctor, and then an actual monster shows up and they have to beat him with like a space laser thing. Right. I would never would have guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed also that main person is freaking the pedophile Rooney guy from Ferris Bueller. Like, so crazy.
Yeah. So it's just way. I know it's an original complaint to say movies are too long, but this one especially there was no need for it to be, I think, almost 2 hours, an hour 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was way too long, too much going on. So many places they could have cut some fat. That just bad.
Maybe if we'd watched it at like 1.5 speed, it would have all sounded like DuckTales. Like that would have been cool.
Maybe. But yeah, all around bad movie. Don't recommend. Thought it was going to at least be fun, but it wasn't.
I would recommend it just to like it's just so weird. Like you gotta see it to like
understand all the
choices. See it to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is George Lucas. George Lucas made this movie.
Right.
Oh, also, which Ken, you didn't include this in the trivia, but I think when I was pulling something else up for it, I think I did read that like George Lucas was so convinced that this was going to be a smash hit, he went out and he spent a ton of money thinking he was about to come into a lot of money. Like I don't think it like paid for Skywalker Ranch, but I think I did read that he like racked up some serious debt. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to start selling off properties.
Because he thought this was
intellectual or like physical properties. And he ended up selling off the animation studio that he was starting up to Steve Jobs, and that later became Pixar Pictures.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't a missed opportunity.
Yeah, all around bad. This was rough.
So did we all give it 3s? We all agree?
Yeah, we all agree this is a 3.
The best 3 your eyes can watch.
It's getting a point for Tim Robbins. It's a point for a movie, and then a point just because I like Leah Thompson.
His duck.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Emily, for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug at the end here? Or words of wisdom?
Yes. I am here to plug pigeons. Did you know that pigeons are just doves? Or doves are pigeons? I forget which, but they belong to the same family. And so be nice when you see a pigeon, because they're living in the city because they just want to be close to you.
I heard birds aren't real.
They're 5G.
Yeah, they're 5G.
The pigeons are surveilling you.
Yeah.
I know. I don't use Apple Podcasts almost ever, but I started that they're starting to automatically add transcripts of episodes. So me just saying that comment now it's in my head that like, oh, that's going to show up as like text associated with this episode as we don't believe birds are real and that they're 5G.
You're not worried about duck tits or that girl, fuck that duck or anything?
Nah.
No.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh no, CJ, do you see Ken being possessed by Cevis?
Krobus?
Krobus. Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening. Laser eyes. CJ, what are we going to plug?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. Email the show at overtalkingpod@gmail.com. Ornithologists, get at us. Why are they called hens and drakes? This doesn't make sense. It's confusing. There's already a bird named hens. Why you do that? Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party, and email or text the show at USACat15911.
Oh no, they're here. It's the Overtalking Dark Overlords.
From the Nexus of Summonus.
That's right. They are confirming that, yes, they are indeed the same. If they were to take off their cloaks, they would look like the stop motion thing at the end of this movie. They're here to remind you, if you like your show, please go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review where applicable. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend no money in advertising, so if you like your show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you. And stick around to the end of the credits to hear what next week's episode will be for Bird Month. Gasp. And as we always say at the end of every single bird episode, caw-caw!
Duck tits. Woo! Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Emily. Music by Justin Peters. Be sure to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Tune in next time to hear the boys talk about The Crow. See you next week.
Rest on a bird, man, that ain't right. But Howard's in love and he's feeling tight. Rest is on the bird, man, that ain't right. But Howard's in love and he's feeling tight.